Welcome back, Vol fans. Our volunteers begin the stretch run this week against this year's Cinderella team, the Missouri Tigers. So, what are we going to have to do to make sure she goes home a little disappointed at midnight, Bob?
Well, Missouri's leads the country in red zone offense. They're number one. Part of that is because they've got an excellent kicker, and Cody Schrader is the number one running back in the country. I mean, in the conference, at 5.7 yards a carry and 10 touchdowns. So I think he's a big part of their success in that and having a very good field goal kicker. But we need to try to stop him and make them one dimensional. I think that's one of the major keys of the game.
Well, every week, I think that's our goal. We try to
Mhm.
eliminate the run first. We've done a pretty good job of that
We have.
overall.
Yeah, we have.
Early in the season, we was giving up one large run. It seemed like every single game that kind of skewed our effectiveness.
Hmm.
But we take him out of it, like we did like Ray Davis,
Right.
and that would pretend a lot of success on our part.
Yeah, I think we can definitely do that. I think we can definitely keep him in check. And his yard per carry is not, ridiculous. 5.7.
Yeah,
Uh,
good,
it's good.
good, not great
So
though.
he's getting a lot of carries,
He is.
but and obviously with getting a lot of carries, he's being effective. So if we can shut him down, obviously that he's a big part of their offense.
Well, Bob, one thing happens to us so many times. We put so much effort into shutting the run down. I know people's going to be a little surprised by this, but sometimes we got beat up through the air a little bit.
We do, and that is a huge key is being able to get after the quarterback with four guys and able to stop the run with probably about six. So if we can, it's when we have to bring five, six guys to get after the quarterback. That's when we start backing off the wide receivers, and we get burnt there.
What we do, that's an excellent point. When we've brought four, particularly from about mid, kind of the first, second, third of the season, we tighten up our defensive coverages quite a bit, and we look really good. Once we started having to go back to five and six guys, though, we kind of reverted back to what we was doing last year, and that was playing a lot looser in those coverages and letting people pick us apart.
So that's another huge key is people like Pierce and Barron.
And
Uh,
a lot
yeah,
getting
getting
up the
pressure
middle.
and hitting Cook early and often. One thing that we also thought was interesting, Cook, their quarterback, his completion percentage, it actually goes down as the game goes on. He starts off hot around 77%.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's probably a lot of scripted plays,
Scripted play.
which probably helps that numbers a lot.
Give them a little confidence, get them moving.
So you want to get them off timing there, and don't let him do very much in that first quarter. Drops down to 68% in the second, 66 in the third. Then it drops all the way down to 54% in the fourth quarter. So I'm guessing he's taking a beating, and he doesn't like it. So, uh, we need to hit him early and often. And like I said before, Pierce and Barron getting home, and our other defensive linemen, is a big part of success for this ball game.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'll be honest about it. I expect to be held and held often. I don't think we're going to get to them a whole lot.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're right. That's going to be a big part of it. Well, that'll be a big thing to watch during the game. Is are the tackles holding and are the refs calling it?
Well, I can tell you probably on both of those.
Probably.
Um, Out wide, Bob, last year's freshman that was superstar, did okay last year, but now he's returned that sophomore corner, and that's Luther Burden.
Yeah, big time guy. He's pushing 1,000 yards right now. I've watched him play a few times this year. He's big time, and with him and Cooks, I mean they're moving him around the field everywhere, trying to get match up.
Now, of course, I mean, I know everybody's wanting to take him away after the first few games.
And Cook, I tell you what, when I watched him, yeah, I've been watching Cook play a lot this year, Missouri in general, and I mean when he's on, he's on. When him and Burden's connecting, uh, they're almost impossible to stop. I watched them in the LSU game early on in the game. LSU had great coverage. It didn't matter. I mean, the ball placement was fantastic. I hope we don't really see a whole lot of that Cook um, in this game. But in that game, he started off fantastic. and it seemed like as the game went on, he kind of went down. Um, but yeah, Burden's fantastic, and you got Cody Schrader, which we talked about. Let's talk a little bit
Well,
about their.
Bob, one other thing on him. I've seen a lot of people a little concerned by him running the ball on us because he killed us last year with over 100 yards. But that's not really been his game this year.
Yeah, I noticed he don't really run much at all.
Now, I was kind of shocked when I looked up his numbers. I expected him to be among the league leaders, and he's far from it.
Yeah, I've watched him play 2 or 3 times this year, and he didn't run the ball hardly any.
Okay, Bob, let's flip it on the other side real fast.
Okay.
Let's look at what Tennessee's going to do. And when we got the ball on against their defense, what are we going to expect from them?
Well, I mean, they're going to try to make us one-dimensional as well, I'm sure. They're going to try to stop our running game. One thing that we have done, though, the last 2 years against them has been run the ball extremely well. Matter of fact, we have scored 66 and 64 or 62 the last 2 years against them. And primarily, I mean, we've thrown the ball on them, but we've ran the ball with nearly 700 yards total in those 2 games.
Pretty impressive. And quite honestly, if you're Missouri, you're drinking with. You got to be circling this Tennessee game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the fact that we just destroyed them about 40 points the last 2 years.
Year.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to be circling this game.
Now, they've had 2 different defensive coordinators.
They have.
That. The question becomes, is it just scheme matchup issues, personnel matchup issues?
That's a good question.
Where's that coming from?
I don't know. Do they not handle the
Tempo?
Is like you said, is it scheme? I think it has to be a little bit of both, because even with the tempo, you think they could do something with that, but we must match up really well with them as far as our scheme goes.
Let's hope that continues.
Yeah, let's hope so. One thing, when we do have the ball against them, knows they play a lot of man, and when I watched them play against LSU, which Daniel's an excellent runner, but man, he was able to just take off whenever he wanted, because they play a lot of man defense. There's a lot of opportunities there. They haven't played a lot of running quarterbacks this year. I've noticed when I was looking at their stats. But
yeah, that's really the outlier from them all year long.
Right.
Quarterbacks have got nothing on them. Of course, they've not played a lot of, like you said, quarterbacks that really take off.
Right, most of the quarterbacks don't run. They're not running quarterbacks that play. So I really expect Joe to run, and one of the keys, another key to the game is Joe needs to put some yardage up on him. He needs to be effective and moving the chains.
But fortunately, the last 2.5, 3 games been Joe's best part of the year so far.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Our passing game in general has been a lot better, and Joe's running the ball more. It's kind of been going hand in hand, it seems like.
It is. I'll tell you one thing I worry about when it comes to Missouri, though.
Mm-hmm.
Darius Robinson, right up in the middle, huge guy, about a 300-pounder, and I worry about Ollie Lane if he's matched up with him very much. 5.5, 6 sacks, something like that.
Yeah, that's impressive from a 300-pounder.
Yeah,
leads them in sacks, and they're a good sacking team. We're better than they are on that aspect, so that's a big thing to look for.
It is. I mean, they've got some other guys that get after you too, but anytime you've got somebody coming up the middle on you, that much success,
mm-hmm.
I mean, that can really change the complexion of a game.
It absolutely does, and it affects a lot of quarterbacks. It seems like it affects maybe Joe a little bit more whenever the middle's coming up. He seems to kind of.
He don't have a real good field in the pocket.
He don't. I mean, he kind of, which like I said, that's one of the best ways to get a quarterback. Put pressure on the outside, bringing the pressure up the middle. They got nowhere to go.
Yeah, everybody will say, "Oh, step up into the pocket." Well, if there's no pocket to step up to, then you have to start, improvising, and that's not Joe's strong suit.
Yeah. Another player on defense that's we'll have to watch out for. They got a really good corner in Chris Abrams. Drain. Got 4 interceptions for the year. So you got Robinson and Drain, and they got a linebacker that's really good too. He's got some sacks and tackles. Pretty high numbers as well. So they've got some star power on that side of the defense, on that side of the ball as well. Anything else, Tim, that you can think of that you think key aspects of this game?
Well, officiating, I think, everybody's on everybody's mind. I don't think I'm gonna go deep into this. I think we may make another episode on just that thing right there. But I would like to say on as far as Missouri, just throw out a prediction here. Since I brought up the officials, I've getting more and more pessimistic as I look at some statistics I'm seeing, and I'm going to say that we do not win this weekend. I think we'll lose about. We'll go 37-28.
But
So do you have a prediction on score?
oh man, I haven't really come up with nothing. So this is really off the top of my head. Let's go. I'm gonna believe in Hypel on this one, and I'm gonna say 42-28 Vols.
Hope you're right and I'm wrong, Bob.
Yeah, I hope so. 'Cause I think he seems to have Drinkwitz's number so far. I'm hoping he continues.
Well, I hope we break that Cinderella slipper this weekend.
Hope so.
Well, guys, join us on our next one. And till then, go Big Orange.
Go Vols.